Hey YouTube, got another video for you today. A while back, I mentioned that I needed to build another gun rack because my gun collection had outgrown the amount of slots on the racks that I already have. So that's exactly what we're fixing to do: build a gun rack. Now I'll step in front of the camera and we'll explain why I'm not using that gun rack that you see standing up there. Okay, this gun rack was given to my uncle, Larry, back probably 5 years or so before he passed, and I think he's been gone 2 years now. It was given to him by a neighbor. I don't know how she come across it, but I suspect it was probably picked up out of the trash. And, you know, this thing, while it looks good from afar, it's far from good. It, they I think this is probably some kid's high school project. Uh, this whole thing's just overly complicated. And to me it feels like that it would have been a teaching tool. But the way they overcomplicated it actually compromised it. Compromised the strength of the thing as far as I can tell. So let me go ahead and explain that to you, and then we'll get this thing out of the way. First of all, there's no nails in this thing. Everything is slotted and glued. So these guns, well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guns plus ammo or whatever down here is going to get fairly heavy. I just don't believe that glue would have ever held very well for something like this. Okay. Anyway, I guess I done said all that. Right here are the two cross braces, I guess you might say, that also hanging on your wall for you. They're only in some shallow slots there, and just glued in as well. Those actually needed to be nailed and screwed. And well, I just rather start over and build something that I like rather than attempt to repair this thing. Of course, I may repair it later down the road. I just haven't made my mind up yet. So let's just go on and get all this crap out of the way. By the way, this thing's not built out of very good wood either. See that? See that knot right there? If you drop this thing just right, it would break it. It would break off. So I mean, that's another problem that I have with it. There's knots in the wood here that's going to collect dust. This also has a knot that goes more well. I know you're not going to be able to see it, but there's a knot right here that goes more than halfway across the width of the rack that could compromise the strength of it. So I don't see where this thing's worth doing anything with. But I might get bored one day and nail this thing back together and try to keep it anyway. You just don't never know what I'm gonna do. I don't never know what I'm gonna do. Okay, we used that piece that was loose to trace out onto this 1x6. That is actually was probably a 1x8 or something, because it's actually slightly larger than this 1x. You know what? I just figured it out. It wasn't a 1x8. Wood used to be. It used to start off being cut actual size, and over the years it got smaller. A 1x6 ain't actually 6 inches. This one's 5.5. This would let's see. this is 6 inches even. So, you know, that's probably a lot older than this is probably a lot older than I had originally suspected. Of course, I should have known that too. I can't imagine any high school wood shop would have its students building gun racks these days. But anyway, okay, so that explains that. Okay, so we're gonna just go ahead and this with the jigsaw. I won't make you guys watch me cut the whole thing, because, you know, the jigsaw's noisy and it's kind of slow going with the jigsaw. So, let me grab my earmuffs and we'll get started. Thought to bring everything over for the video except for the earmuffs. Hold on, YouTube. Okay, YouTube. I think I didn't mention that I'm not gonna stain this because it's not really stain grade wood, and I think since this is a gun rack and, you know, we're gonna be putting guns on it and taking them off, you know, when I go hunting and whatnot, I don't see the point in putting a really super fine finish on it because it's gonna get marred. It would probably get marred up anyway, and then I'd have to get it out and redo it, you know. So just paint it because it's yeah. And I'm stuttering. It's simpler to just do a repaint. Although I've got an idea that's playing through my head maybe to fancy this thing up a wee bit, but I ain't sure if I'm gonna do that because it ain't really necessary. All right, let's clamp this thing down and get started, YouTube. By the way, YouTube, that's just going to be a scrap cutoff that's probably going to wind up getting tossed in my barn and forgot about. Alright, let's go. YouTube, I didn't even think about if y'all were able to see or not. Yeah, I guess you can see well enough. Okay. Nope, that ain't gonna work. hate this trigger the way it's set up because it's got that lock on it, and the lock seems to stick. Talking about. That actually seems like a kind of a huge safety concern. Okay, YouTube, that's the first slot cut, and it looks atrocious. I think I can straighten all that up with sandpaper, so you know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna make y'all watch me cut the rest of those slots, because that'd make the video too long and it'd probably be boring. So I'll bring y'all right back when they're all cut, when both sides are cut. Well, YouTube, we got the first side cut. I obviously need to do a lot of practicing with that jigsaw. But alright, just want to let y'all see that real quick. I'm gonna do the other side now.